a better one. You guys can see the food actually. Yay. All right, everybody. Welcome back to another shit show. She's playing with me. Quit playing with me, Raya. This is my life. Welcome to it. She got into some nip. So this is Aleda. I don't know if y'all ever actually met her, but we call her Lil Mamas. So every time I say is, she knows that as her. Mamas. You being crazy, baby. It's like they know when the camera's on. They're so cute. Is it wrong that I want more? Yeah, I should stop. I don't know, cats, at least I can say cats. I don't know about for all animals, but I feel like they're a lot like tattoos in the sense that once you get one, you're going to want a bunch. I will cry if my microphone is not working. So here's the setup. I burnt the shit out of the garlic bread. Jonathan brought lemonade from work because he's the best. Bon appetit. Yeah, I burned the shit out of this garlic bread, but it's okay. Bear, please. I love you so much. Bear, lay down. Bubba, go lay down. I love you. I'll be right with you. I don't even want to. Don't even. People are going to come at me for my sauce game, and y'all can just. Oh, he wants to lay back here. I'm sorry, Bubba. You are so funny. It's like all the animals want to join me right now. Mamas, you want to be in the frame? Oh my gosh. Okay. See, you're just being coy now. You're being real coy at whatever. Okay. Welcome to the day in the life. All right? Just welcome to the day in the life. I'm not going to tell you what I'm going to do, but I have an idea and it's in regards to sauce. So, that's the sound of, oh shit, we burnt the fuck out of our garlic bread. Mamas, get in the pig. You're just going to be real coy. You're going to be off in the corner. All right, well, if she wants to be in the frame, she can be in the frame. Bro, kudos. Kudos to the real mukbangers because a setup is hard, okay? I'm finally figuring out the gist. Mamas, can you please like eat with me in the camera because you were so cute right now. All right, well, I guess you're just gonna see the corner of her. Okay. All right. Hi, yo, mamas. Hi. Okay. Do you want to make this an ASMR? it's Jonathan's computer. But other than that, it's so quiet here. Mamas. She fucked off. See, when you want them to be cute and in frame, they're just not. What is going on? Okay. I have a bear right next to me. Okay. Where were we? Mm-hmm. I just like, bitch, what the fuck? Mm-hmm. What's been going on with me? Well, I'm still waking up at the witching hour pretty much almost every night. Oh, good job, Bear. No physical attacks, but I've been waking up at like 3:15. But the difference is I'm not really scared anymore. I've just been falling back asleep. And normally when I wake up in the middle of the night, I've been trying not to check the time. Other than that, it's so peaceful here. I thought about it, and living at the last place for 3.5 years, almost 4 years, it was a nice place. Like, if you see the videos and stuff, it was very spacious, but we had no room for storage. It was just all space. Mm-hmm. Okay. So, as I was telling you guys, our previous neighbors, Ari and Kevin, they were really nice. When we found the place that we wanted to live, it was initially upstairs where they were living. Well, they got it first. So, luckily, it worked out where we moved downstairs. So, I can't speak for Jonathan, but I was a little bit envious, but I got over it because we had the best deal as far as, even though they had a little bit more space, we were paying $100 less than they were. We had a bigger washer and dryer. But even though it all worked out, I absolutely hate living on the first floor. And I've never been lucky enough to live on top of anybody. For some reason or another, I've always been just either in the basement or just the first floor. Like, it never worked out. But regardless, like, I know you can still, at least in Chicago apartments, you can still hear the noise no matter what. Even if you're upstairs, you can still hear what's going on downstairs. But it's different when people are stomping up the stairs, right? Imagine having pretty much the same exact schedule. They would wake up, she would wake up about 10 minutes before I would. Whenever I would go to the bathroom, they would go to the bathroom. Whenever I would take a shower, they would take a shower. It was crazy how much we were mirroring each other's lives. And there'd be some days where on a Saturday, I would get home at like 3, 4 o'clock, and she wouldn't get home till like 6, 7. And there'd be moments where I would like try to be taking a nap or trying to film something. And then you would hear up and down the stairs. Or on a Sunday when I tried to be napping, then he would be vacuuming. It is so nice. I am so forever grateful that I don't have to live around anybody anymore. Sure, we have neighbors next door. We have neighbors across the way. But we are alone. Oh my gosh. Our previous landlord was good at first, and then he just went bonkers, MIA. There were the past 2 years, he just didn't respond to us at all for like a year. The ice machine was broken. The AC/heat didn't work. Like, it looks nice on the outside, but it had a lot of work to be done. The garage door stopped working. Finally, we're like, hey, we're leaving. We broke our lease early, but we didn't even have a lease at the end. Like, he never gave us an official one. And he didn't invite us, but tell us why that when we moved out, not only are we paying less here of what he's trying to charge now. We looked up the place and he's trying to charge, we would have been paying like $500 more. He raised the rent by $300, and then he's trying to charge people $25 per pet. He never charges for our animals. And oh yeah, and then $150 for the garage. Plus, it doesn't include utilities and stuff, so we would have been paying like $750 more to live in a shithole. Oh my god. You don't realize what you have to be grateful for until you don't have it. And towards the end, during our move, the heat wasn't working, y'all. And it was like the beginning of December. We moved on December 1st. Why were those like the two coldest days starting? It was just, winter was just starting, and I was like, oh, it's not gonna be cold, because normally it doesn't really get cold around here until January. No, it got cold. And he's like, oh, hey, here's a space heater. It was horrible. Our last night moving, what was it? It was like 50 degrees in the house, and it was 14 degrees outside. Our animals were freezing. Thank God we got out of Dodge. And I am just so grateful to have not only working heat, a roof over our head, our animals are relatively healthy, a shower, you know? I as hard as I get on myself sometimes and in my head and stuff, I am truly, truly grateful and truly blessed. And you are too. Mm. But back to the stuff I was telling you about, yeah. So I'm convinced that that apartment was haunted. I actually kind of knew right when we moved in, like weird things were happening, and I asked my landlord, "Hey, did anybody die here? Is this place haunted?" And he said no. Of course, he's not going to tell us yes, but we know that he has that building passed down to him, and I'm pretty sure I have a feeling that one of them, if not more, well, one of them, I think was his dad. I think his dad died in the house on the first floor. I don't know if I just got dad vibes or what, but yeah, it was just strange. I don't know. But I was trying to tell y'all, my whole life, I was always excited. You know, I was always intrigued by the paranormal, but I never actually experienced anything. I think in the back of my mind, I was always like, I want to see something, you know, because like I would always watch Ghost Adventures and with Zach Bagans. I guess that was like the closest thing that you could see to like capturing things on film. But don't you see that even when they do capture things, people will say it's, you know, they'll find a way to debunk it. Even if you see like a full fledged operation, they're just like, nah. Unless you see it and you experience it with your own eyes and your own self, even if you capture something on camera, like it doesn't matter. People are not gonna believe you, but it doesn't matter. It's just what you experience. So I was trying to tell you guys about. Let me just eat and then we'll get there. So I was always really excited because I've never been a person who's like in tune with that stuff. Right? I'd always come across it, or but like a little slight, not full on. But the earliest memory that I have is I was hanging out with a neighbor. I must have been in the first or second grade, and she was hanging out where my parents still live. And I don't think my parents' house is haunted. It is an old house, but I think any spirits that are residual like weren't really harmful. Cause I would like the basement scared the shit out of me. Their basement was really scary. That house was built in like 1902. So I was hanging out with a neighbor and we heard my name, my middle name, Ashley, which is very, very faint. I remember telling my dad about it and he's like, "Oh, that was me." Like, no, it wasn't. Um, you're just hearing things. So that was my first like, well, was it in my head? Was it not in my head? Kind of thing. Oh my god, my ratios are off, y'all. I'm gonna have to go get more nudes. And then one of the times I distinctively remember was in the guest room. The lights would just go on and off. Like I distinctly remember it being off and then it would go on. And then my stepdad would also say, it's an electrical problem. Okay. So just always being gaslit and told like what I'm experiencing isn't what I think. And then, I go throughout my teens, my 20s, come my early 30s. Well, my brother passed away when I was 19, going on 20. Which is sad because he always wanted to drink together. It's like, I want to go out to the bar and have fun with you. Well, Dick. His name was Richard. And I didn't know till after he passed away that the nickname for Richard is Dick. Missed opportunity. Missed opportunity. So, after he passed away, I would have dreams. Like, I remember this one dream I had of him. I know for sure it was him. There was this one Christmas shortly after he passed where I felt something hit my ear. It felt like when he used to like flick my ears. I thought somebody threw a cookie at the back of my ear. I felt it so hard, but I realized it was a flick. I got really overwhelmed because I knew it was him. It was just something that he would always do. Little things like that. Or I have his dog tag in my car, and a few times like it got moved. But I mean, he was always a trickster in real life, so it's totally possible that it could have been a combination of him and other spirits in that house. But 1000% for sure, there was something malevolent going on some spectrum. And I feel like I can finally talk about it. And I've talked about it before, but it just freaked me out so bad. Oh my gosh. I don't think I can like eat and talk about it. But I've talked about it. And I think after this, I'm not going to talk about it again. I just kind of wanted to go into more detail. Oh, I'm just looking where I got bit. I'm not even going to show you because you can't even see it, but I see very light puncture wounds still. Man, when I tell you I felt this shit for weeks, and even thinking about it still gives me chills. But this was right before my parents' dog died. So I also have a lot of theories that maybe it was my late puppy brother, Chewy, warning me like, hey, bitch, go talk to your family because Bella about to die. So I didn't talk to my parents for like 6 months. We had a big falling out after the wedding and all that stuff. If y'all real ones, go back, watch that shit. So, Jonathan and I got married last December. We didn't talk. Me and my parents didn't talk until May. So May rolls around, right? And I'm just like, it's terrible, but I mostly wanted to go see Bella because I knew she was on her way out. Like, I knew she wasn't doing well. Like, she was just an old dog. But I think it was it was either a Friday, Saturday, or Sunday that this happened, right? And then I went to go see my parents on Tuesday, and then Bella died on Thursday or Friday. Crazy, right? Like the timing of it all. So I distinctly remember I woke up. I woke up at like 4:55. And at this point I'm like, it ain't the witching hour. I'm totally fine, right? Wrong. I wake up, I'm in and out of a daze. Usually my black cat, Othello, is always, not always, but he'll be by me in the morning trying to get me up, something, right? Now, he was there. I remember him being there by my lap, but it wasn't him. And the reason why is because our youngest cat, Milo, he used to be a big cuddle bug when he was a baby. But after his trauma and everything, he's been coming closer around, but his form of cuddling is just chilling right by you. Like, he likes to be pet, he likes to be touched, but he does not like to be cuddled or coddled. So I remember Thello being there, and I was falling back asleep, and I thought I felt the other one. I thought I felt Milo, which was very surprising to me because Milo's a lot smaller. Thello's 13 pounds. He's like 7 or 8 at the time. And I remember just being like, so like, oh, he's gonna come cuddle me. He doesn't cuddle because Thello is heavy and I could feel him. Which is weird, right? In retrospect, because if it was anything, like, wouldn't Thello see it? Or I don't know. So I thought it was Milo. My hands are like this. And I feel like what feels like a mouth around my hand, right? But it's strange. And I've always thought about how I'm going to articulate this because the way that it felt, like it was like messing with my hand. And then I went like this because I thought it was Milo. I was like letting him play bite, because sometimes the cats like to play bite. But it was weird because the way that the mouth was, it kind of was like, it felt like it came from this direction, but for that to happen, obviously, like, it would have had to go through my hand. But then when it got turned like this, it's like it went this way and then that way, if that makes sense. Because the bite was from here, and I kid you not, I'm just getting chills. At first, I thought it was my cat, right? Just like, and then all of a sudden, it just went chomp, like real hard. Like, this kind of bite was like, it wasn't the cat. You know what I mean? My cats would never bite me that hard. They only nibble and stuff. And that's when, like, how painful it was. I immediately woke up, and I mean, because like I was in and out of sleep. Like, I just had my eyes closed. I just looked down and nothing was there. I thought Milo was at least on me. It wasn't Milo. And Thello was still down by my lap. Oh man, you guys, I was so freaked out. Like, just the way it just felt like fuck you, or just very hateful. Or like, bitch, get up. You know what I mean? But immediately, Jonathan thought it was the cats. I'm like, look, the cats would never bite me that hard. They've never bitten me hard before then or since then. He always cries. I took him out, and it's not like you don't take care of them. So then I was so freaked out that I had nowhere else to turn. I turned to God, and something was just telling me, talk to your parents, right? So I talked to my parents. I told them what happened. My mom's kind of a believer, not really. That's when I saw Bella. They said she was doing better. 2 days later, Bella dies. Crazy. So at least I got to say goodbye to her. And me being so scared, it forced me to go talk to my parents again. Because not very many people believe me in this world, but my parents, even though my stepdad will always like be like, oh, bitch, you're crazy. My mom, she knows what's up. This is Thello. So then I don't even know how many months later it was. Okay. But this was right before we moved out. So I got bit on this hand. Mind you, I have a tattoo. I have a really shitty tattoo, and I can explain all my tattoos later. But this was done by a then friend who I let practice. Didn't do what I wanted. were trying to get them covered up, which was the whole thing with the tattoo artist, right? So I have a shitty tattoo right here and a shitty tattoo right here. So I don't know if that also has anything to do with it, but the tattoos were supposed to be an R and a B in like music notes, and it didn't turn out that way at all. It just looks like a fucking scarlet letter, all right? So, get it over here. That shit stung for like weeks, and like you could barely see it, but like even now I just see like I can feel one of the grooves. It was so hard, y'all. No blood broke or anything. So then this one was a little bit more terrifying, but I feel like since then nothing has happened, and I think it's because I kind of stuck my ground. But I was in a dream. It didn't really make sense, but actually this thing that I'm using right now is a massage table. And in the dream, I was with Jonathan, and for some reason, I had like blue tortilla chips. Have you guys ever seen those? And they fell, right? They fell on the floor in my dream. So they fall on the floor in my dream, and I go to grab it. And the weird part was, with the first thing that happened, I knew exactly where my hands were. I could feel whatever was happening. It was like to and fro in between the realm of reality and dreamland. This was dreamland. So I'm in straight dreamland. I'm in like insidious shit, when they're like deep in it. And in real life, I'm sleeping. My hands were actually like this. Like I don't normally sleep like that, but I remember my hands were like this. So my hands weren't to and fro. You know what I mean? So in the dream, I go underneath, and all of a sudden I just got chills again. And everything disappears, and all of a sudden this thing that I can't see, it has like a cloak, like a black cloak, and it just goes for the jugular on this hand. And in the dream, my hand goes like this. Oh, I'm getting chills even just talking about it, y'all. And I'm looking at it like, like I'm just like, fuck you. And it won't show me its face because the way that its face is like this, like it just kind of went like this, and it's just a black cloak, but it sounded like an animal. I'm just getting chills up and down, y'all. It sounded like a vicious fucking animal that just latched onto my hand and wouldn't let go, and I could feel its fucking mouth, its fucking fangs, the same fucking mouth that touched me before. I don't know if I said something like let go of me or what, but the way I screamed, I was just like, I am so sick of your bullshit. Like, don't you fucking touch me. Like, I kind of fought back in a way where I wasn't scared. Like, I was alarmed, but I wasn't scared. And then I woke up, and Jonathan heard me screaming. Like, I was screaming. When I have those dreams, I, like, scream to get out of the dream, if that makes sense. Like, to scare it away, if I can scare it away. So I woke up, and my hand was still on my chest. Nothing. I was calm. I screamed. I woke up Jonathan. I was like, hey, I had a nightmare. Like, I was totally fine about it. And then I saw the bite marks again. And this one's not as prevalent as the other one. But what's crazy is, as you may know, I do dog grooming now, or mostly just bathing dogs. So I brush them out, I clean them. So ever since that happened, granted, it could be something from work when I'm like tying the leads and stuff, the leashes that we have, I like rope them around my hand. But ever since then, and it doesn't happen as much, my hand like tingles. Like I think if something did get me, it like got a nerve or something. I don't know. But whenever I'm like brushing out, if I'm brushing out for a long time, I can feel it tingling. And you can chalk it up to, hey, she's getting older. Hey, maybe she hurt herself at work. But ever since then, like whenever I feel that tingle, I'm like, oh my God. So hopefully this shit does not happen anymore. It hasn't happened in a while. But yeah. So if you're wondering what the R&B stands for, I mentioned it was supposed to be music notes. I grew up prevalently on R&B, rhythm and blues, like the new age one. And I felt like it set the precedent for my love life. And you can guess that the two biggest fuckboys of my life had those initials. Don't ask me why I got it at the time. I thought it was cathartic. But now whenever I look down on them, I'm like, okay, maybe I shouldn't have fucking done that. I thought doing that would let them go. But if anything, it just reminds me more of like how shitty they were and how shitty these fucking tattoos are. So ever since then, that was 2019, I haven't gotten any tattoos. I'm trying to get a tattoo to cover it up. I have a lot of different ideas. But after getting bit on this hand, I kind of had an idea, and I'm gonna try to show the picture of it, to do a rosary around. Because this one actually scared the fuck out of me. This one wasn't as bad because I was already. This one was the worst of the worst of the worst of the worst. This one I feel was more of like a warning bite, like get the fuck away from me. You can't fuck with me anymore. Hopefully not. My whole thing is, y'all, is that if these things do exist, sure, it can physically attack you or whatnot, but I'm just scared of dying. Like, I don't want anything to kill me or hurt me in that way. You know what I mean? But I would like to say that I'm divinely protected, or at least I'd like to think that. I mean, wouldn't everybody? I just feel like there's been too many things that have happened in my life for me not to believe in God. And this whole thing made me turn back towards God. You know, I grew up Catholic. I grew up around the church. I turned my back against it. I did all of my shit throughout my life. And then I found my way back to it. Like maybe me being spooked is what I needed in order to find my way back to God. Because who else is going to believe me? And who else is going to help me? Not fucking Zach Bacons. Assholes. But, yeah, I mean, things seem to be kosher. And to be honest, I feel like that's a lot of why I was very on and off with y'all, because I was just so freaked out and like so in my realm, and I wanted to tell you guys about it and I wanted to open up about it. I'm not the victim of these situations, okay? It's just things that I experience. And maybe you guys experience it too. Okay. So hopefully this is gonna be one of the last times, if not like the last time I talk about it, unless anybody actually wants to find out more detail. But those were the two major events. Other than that, yeah, there were little things sporadic here and there that happened. You know, things got moved, things. But that was the most in my face thing I've ever seen. You can say whatever you want about, not you, but just people in general, the bite mark or whatever. But the camera being moved while setting up a mukbang, not only once, but twice, 1 minute apart, not even a minute apart, is the most in my face thing I've ever seen, most undeniable thing. I've never seen anything like it. I'm never seeing anything like it again. Sometimes I leave the camera on just to see if something's gonna fuck with me. But it would always do some shit when I was not expecting it. Whenever I was expecting it, of course something happened. So hopefully my ghost adventures are over now. And then I think it's terrible to think, but you know how you think, why did so and so have to die? And it's very selfish to think, but I'm like, what if they had to die in order to protect me? You know? Even the car accidents, like I said, I haven't gotten very many car accidents throughout my life, or the times that I was very, very close. You know, something just, I really feel like he's around in that sense and is a guardian angel. And even with my youngest brother, he got into an accident years ago and his car did a rollover and he walked away without a scratch. Granted, he drove a Subaru and those are really safe, but sometimes maybe there's solace in thinking that one of your loved ones had to die in order to protect you and your other loved ones. Okay, Bear. I know I've talked way too much. He's like, it's time to eat. Listen, I don't always feed them human food, but when I do, it's things like noodles and bread, and little mama's loves butter. I don't know. She likes bread and butter. You like toast and jam. Come love me. All right, y'all. Thank you for watching and joining. I'm so excited to just see like things evolving. Slowly but surely, they're evolving. Boop. Bye, y'all.